Okay, time to do the rankings for this season and last season because I never actually ranked it, along with describing if everyone improved, didn't improve, stayed the same. Yeah, but let's just jump into this. Okay, so first of all, Sierra Easton. Well, she wasn't around long enough to really get a judge on. So because she went out for pretty much the same reason that she did last time, I'm gonna say she stayed the same, which is a bummer because from appearance 1 to 2 she downgraded. Yeah, that was a bum. Tony, I'm gonna say that he stayed the same because pretty much everyone in the dog predicted that he'd be out real quick, and that's kind of what I said would happen to him during his first season. So, yeah. Caleb, he stayed the same because his personality didn't change really at all. Malcolm, from Calamone, he did actually improve because he wasn't as arrogant this time and more people, liked him, but that's why they ended up targeting him, so... Yeah, he did improve from last time, but his gameplay technique, he stays the same, yeah. JT, okay, so a lot of you are going to take issues with him, but I do feel like he actually improved from HVV because... like with Malcolm, he was less arrogant than the last time he played, and he seemed to be trying to do a little bit better with the deck. And also because this time when he left, it was completely due to his own actions, even though, I will be honest, this dumb move that he did in this season was much dumber than his move in HVV, because I've said it before time and time again. If everyone had seen Russell's season at the time that they had played, JT would not have done that decision, but Tyson, very darn well could still have flipped. You switch Russell with Pav in the rules there. I think Tyson flips anyway. You switch Robin Russell in the rules. I think Tyson flips anyway. Yeah. Tyson in HVV was dumber than JT. Much dumber. Okay, Sandra. Well, she did play a harder game, but she really ended up just staying the same because Sandra really hasn't changed. It's just that finally people were targeting her. So she had to do a little more, and she did a good amount of stuff. She lasted a fair number of tribals. So good on to her. Jeff Varner. Well, his gameplay didn't really change that much, but given what he did to Zeke, many will say that, he downgraded himself in that moment, but that didn't really have anything to do with the game. So gameplay-wise, he's fine, but in terms of representation to his season, he's given it another hit. Like, yeah, seriously, Jeff, you broke all the patterns, for Coast of the Australian Outback because you didn't make it to the finale of your season, which has happened every other time a person from Australian Outback has come back, but also you hurt your season, albeit in a different way this time, even though, as everyone has said, we shouldn't really go around bashing Jeff on social media, and I am glad that, he ultimately managed to make things work after being fired, so... Yeah, just learn from your mistakes and hold your head up, Jeff, okay? But, yeah, you hurt your season again, like, yeah. I'm seriously this close to just getting rid of that DVD, just... Alumni, really? Yeah. Haley, she was the exact same, and she left it almost the exact same bit, because, yeah, she was the 8th person to leave, first jury member again, yeah, not that much different, huh? Just a bigger jury, and cast overall, right. Ozzy, okay, this is going to be a real bad judgment, because I haven't seen Micronesia, and I don't remember too much from South Pacific, although I did watch, Cook Islands after seeing South Pacific. So my thinking is I'm going to say that Ozzy improved, but more in terms of like fan support, because the perception that I've gotten from Ozzy was that gameplay-wise, after his first season, he appeared to be trying to get himself into the mix more, but his personality didn't change that much. I got the feeling that this was a little bit of a different Ozzy. Not entirely better, but Better definitely in some retrospects, and I feel like actually fan reaction to him will be a little more positive, albeit he was shafted in his own individual way, just like just about everybody was this season, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's how I feel about Ozzy. Debbie, she stayed the same, really, except, this time she went out for, I think, better reasons for being caught a threat, because last time it wasn't necessarily random, it was just more of that's a really, really odd vote, although I'm glad that it happened. This time, just, it's the kind of thing that she could see coming, but she was able to walk out, with her head up and hold less of a grudge, so good on to her for that, but same Debbie, really. Zeke, he stayed the same, even though he admits he didn't really enjoy himself out there, but he did get a better exit again. This time, it's not so much we don't like you, it's just, it's not really melding well with you, buddy. Sierra from Worlds Apart, she improved because this time we saw her definitely establish herself as a threat, do what Jess said she should have done last time, even though there were a few mentions that it was possible for her to do that, but she didn't. Even though she herself has reminded us that it was apart, most of the cast there actually does like each other, despite what all those blue-collar guys in a will did, but everybody, I think even Jen now, has forgiven the blue-collar men, so really it's just Will, because Sierra said, I've made lifelong friends with most of the cast there that season. Yeah, that's so ironic with Worlds Apart in One World. A lot of us end up dishing the cast, but the cast actually really seems to like each other. That's a real interesting bit, especially given all that, Dan and Rodney did, even though, as I said back then, and I'll still say now, Rodney, you should have completely forgotten about, and Dan, if the cast can forgive him, I think we can. Well, that's me. Andrea, she has stayed the same. Same kind of game, same pros, same weaknesses. Almost the exact same performance bit, except she didn't find an idol. Well, actually, she didn't find an idol. Eric technically found it, and then he handed it over to her. But, yeah, I pretty much sums up Andrea, but given how she was shafted a lot in the edit, and causing issues for Brad's group, who I was supporting a lot more than a Cerise group, that made me kind of root against Andrea, even though, as I said, didn't change much. Michaela, I'm gonna say honestly that she was the same. It was just her exit reaction, improved, like with Debbie. But she, unlike Debbie, managed to get a lot farther in the game. She went out in a very shocking manner, but she goes, there was enough time left in the game that it wasn't like I was super close. I did my bit. I got along with people somewhat better than last time. I'm okay with this. Yeah. I never really liked her, but... You invite her back, I wouldn't be that annoyed. But give her a break this time, alright? At least give us that. Although, of course, a break could easily just mean 2 seasons, because they do back-to-back, Yeah. Suri from HVV, she improved, but overall she stayed the same. Because she was working the strategic minds, but she was shafted in the edit, and she ends up getting booted in a pretty strange way, but yeah. But I do like that she went out on a much more positive note than she did in HVV, because HVV just, oh man. Aubrey, well, I want to say that she downgraded herself, but at the same time, you know how I mentioned in my Co-1 finale video that had Aubrey had won, that the chain of strong winners would have been disrupted anyway? Well, maybe this is actually how Aubrey was back then. It was just we had a much more wild or active or better cast, whatever adjective you want to use, or any combination thereof. So it's real tough for me to assign, a thing to her, because in terms of everyone's regard of her, she definitely downgraded, but how do we know that this wasn't just how Aubrey would have behaved anyway? It's real tough. Okay, I'll just go with downgrade right now, but I could change my mind. I don't know. Tie. I'm gonna just say he stayed the same because really, ultimately, all that changed was that he ended up using his idols this time, and he ended up being voted out. That's really all that changed. Well, he would have gotten more votes at the end, but seems like Brad would have beat him. So, yeah. Choizan, well, he improved in that I didn't dislike him as much at the end, but in his game play, he definitely downgraded himself because, he did pretty much nothing, even though he was a vote for Brad's bit, and had he not sided with Brad, that would have really weakened his game. So, yeah, that's pretty much how we're going to have to leave him. Improved socially, but downgraded himself in terms of gameplay. I know many will argue he didn't have much to begin with, but that's how I feel. Brad, obviously he improved. He's arguably the most improved person this season, Sarah being the other big argument because Sierra improved in a fairly similar fashion, but she was at a higher point to start with. He rose up the most, but that doesn't always mean you are the most improved. Right, but yeah, who would have thought, like with Abby, how they could change themselves so much, even though Abby went from absolutely hating to meh, whereas Brad went from absolutely hating to, I was actually on your side, man. And then Sarah, yeah, she improved, even though there was this vibe back in Kagaya that she could have done something similar to this, but the beauty of her victory is that we finally have somebody who was in the middle of two big groups that managed to play off of them both, get to the end, and actually win. Because Rob wasn't able to do that, Kaz wasn't able to do that. I could have sworn there was one other good example of somebody doing that, but didn't. No, it's not Spencer, because I still to this day view him and Jeremy as a team, and Spencer, was not away from the group that included himself and Jeremy and Fishback very long, because once Steven left, Jeremy managed to get Spencer back with him, and the two of them reaffirmed what I've been saying for a long time. You two get together, because even though everyone should predict that you're together, I don't think they actually will. Team up, get somebody who has no chance of winning, and then dominate the thing. Well, they didn't exactly dominate it, but they actually did end up managing to get to the end there, yeah. So, I don't view Spencer really as flipping between the sides too much, to be honest. It was really just against Steven, and he was with Jeremy pretty much the whole time. So, yeah, this time we actually had somebody playing off both alliances, albeit in a little bit of a weaker fashion than, say, Kaz and Rob's sister Nino, but they still managed to get to the end and are able to get the crown, so to speak. So, yeah, props to her. Good job there, Sarah. And is the curse of the All-Star seasons back? No, it's not, because not too many people downgraded them. Sounds like with Cambodia, it was pretty much the exact same stuff, and someone that I ultimately expected to win ended up winning, because Sarah, you just got the idea that she was going to win for a while now. I, had time to adjust to it, and I'm not that opposed to her winning, because my critique side of me did rank her as the best person to win, even though I did have, a big part of me rooting for Brad, but hey, even if Brad had won, I would have been complaining about him in many of the ways that I was complaining about Mike, but without the antagonism of the other blue-collar guys, It's not so much good cop versus bad cop, whatever. Just... Yeah, if Brad had won, even though I would have definitely been, I think, a little more rooty in my videos, I would have been complaining that we've got another Mike, which isn't something that I really want, because even though I was rooting for Mike, yeah, his victory was really a weekend due to the move that he did, even though actually Brad would have had the benefit of actually He didn't shoot himself in the foot. It was his own alliance that shot himself in the foot. Yeah, because Brad really only shot himself in the foot in regards to Ty. Even if you take Ty out of this equation, he still would have lost. Because as I said, Sarah, 95% chance of winning. Brad, in that particular final 3, 5%. Okay?